Okay, so the first one is the quiz. I haven't had the chance to check it because I also have the quiz from grade 7. So I'm gonna start from grade 7 first, and hopefully I will be finished checking them today, so I can check your quiz as soon as possible. That's the first one. The second one is that you still have the plus point. So even though I didn't write your name anymore in when we have a discussion, right? I don't write that down anymore, but I memorize it, and I have this table here that helps me to make notes of how you're being active in the classroom, or maybe you send me your notes, right? Because some of you still send me some notes from the lesson. So I will also give you some plus point from them. So the plus point actually still applies, yeah, for this quiz and the previous quiz and for the next quiz. And that is the first one. The second one is that please, if you have any task that needs to be submitted as soon as possible, please submit it, because again, we will have the SLC in a short time. I mean, like short period of time, like in a couple of weeks, not weeks, maybe in days, yeah. So that when we have that, you are being ready with your portfolio and also all of the. Sebentar nih, kok pada telat? Ya, sebentar ya, ini banyak sekali yang telat. Okay, gitu ya. Okay, so yeah, that's all the I need to say before the new topic. Okay. So we have actually done the topic of statistic and probability. So I hope that you can have the insight, and please save the, what do you call it, the link to the YouTube, because maybe you might need it later on. And for the end semester test later in December, it is December, in May, yeah, in May, and also maybe in grade 9. I believe that in grade 9 you will also have topics that need to be reviewed, but yeah, maybe in Bahasa Indonesia, but yes, it's still same. In case you still need the videos, you just need to go to the YouTube again and use it. Yeah. Okay, so for today we're going to start any topic. So the topic for today, ada yang baca SOMO nggak? Ada yang tahu nggak topik barunya apa? Jangan-jangan kalian kalau dikirim SOMO nggak ada yang tahu deh, nggak dibaca. Pasti nggak dibaca, iyalah. Pak Aldi tahu nggak? The topic that we are going to discuss today, the new topic.
Tidak.
Tidak, yes. Okay, I believe that like 90% of you don't know, or maybe 100%, but yeah, okay lah, no problem with that. Okay, so the topic that we're going to talk about today is, okay, I'm gonna share the screen for you guys. Here we go. Wait, let me press that first. Okay, where is it? Okay, and this is the soup. Sebentar, agak like sedikit. Okay, so this is the topic that we're going to talk about. Yeah, so we have learned about probability, statistics. Now we're going to talk about geometry, yeah, gambar-gambar. Okay, so for this topic, you are going to need to have a protractor. Kemarin ngambil kit, learning kit, dapat kan protractor? Iya dong, ya itu dia. The protractor will be needed to draw circles. So we're going to talk about circles. But ya, sekarang nggak perlu itu, ntar aja ya. Nanti ada beberapa tugas yang harus pakai itu ya. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the prior knowledge, the thing that you know before, and the things that we might dig more deeper in the topic of circle. So another question is like, why we need to separate like rectangle, squares, triangle, and trapezium with circle? So why the circle needs to be in just one topic, not just combine with them? Actually, we can combine them, but we have a special things. We have a special parts that needs to be discussed furthermore about circle. Okay. Okay, so let's just start the first slide. Here we go. Okay, so these are the basics that you need to know. You can write it down or you can screenshot that. It's fine, no problem, because there are so many things in here. So I'm gonna start from the first one. The definition of a circle. Okay, so when we talk about circle, you will see something like that. But how can you describe that in sentence? Okay, so in here, I have a definition of a circle itself. Is a circle is a set of points which are equidistant from a fixed point, which is called its center. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to ask you guys, have you ever heard of this word before today? Equidistant. Belum ya? This is the first time. So we have a lot of, I'm pretty sure that you will have a lot of new vocabularies in mathematics. That's why I really need you to understand that, because a couple of topics that we're going to discuss involving a lot of these new vocabularies. Yeah. Okay, so that is equidistant. So what is equidistant? Equidistant means that it has the same distance or the same length, the same thing, right? It comes from the word equal. Equi from the word equal. Distant ya distant gitu, jarak gitu ya. Jadi jaraknya sama gitu ya in Indonesia ya. So a circle is a set of points which are equidistant from a fixed point, which is called the center. So if you see that, this is what we call a center point, right? So it's exactly in the middle of the circle. That is what we call the center. And then also it's said about set of points, right? Set of points. So is there any other point than the center in this image over here? You can't see it, right? But actually we have infinite number of points. Where is it? It makes the circumference. We call it the circumference. Itu yang di luarnya, garis itu kan dibentuk dari titik-titik ya kan? Titik-titiknya banyak banget sampai kamu nggak lihat itu sebagai titik tapi sebagai garis lengkung gitu ya. Nah, makanya disebutnya a set of points. Nah, pointsnya ada banyak banget. Ya. So that is what we call a circle. Okay, next one. The circumference. Okay, so when we are learning in two-dimensional shape, we are learning about perimeter and area, right? So, but in circle, we have a special name just for circle. In what do you call it? The perimeter. Yeah, when we're talking about the perimeter of a circle, we don't say it's perimeter, but we say it circumference. Circumference. So this is actually the perimeter, right? That has the same meaning as perimeter, but again, because circle is very special shape compared to the other shapes, right? So we have a special name for that. So the name of that perimeter of the circle is circumference. Yeah? So it's the distance around the entire circle boundary. It's the same thing, yeah? We're talking about perimeter. Okay. Next up is an arc. Okay, arc. Yeah. Arc itu ya arc. Apa ya bahasa Indonesia ya? Ya arc lah. Of a circle is any continuous part of the circle. So if you see here the what do you call it, the example, if I have this from here to here, right, this is an arc. So it's basically just part of the circumference. It can be the whole thing, or it can be just like cuma setengahnya doang atau seperempatnya doang gitu ya. So that is what we call arc. Ya. Jadi arc itu kayak panjangnya si lengkungan itu berapa, cuma dari sini sampai sini doang misalnya. Itu sebutnya arc. Ya. Okay, next one is chord. Okay, yang suka gitar pasti tahu ya chord. Ya, a chord of a circle is a line segment joining any two points on a circle. Kalau kamu suka main gitar, misalnya kayak Atar suka main gitar ya. Kalau kamu lihat gitar gitu kan, tengah-tengahnya ada bolongnya kan, lingkaran. Nah, ya kan. Nah, senar-senarnya itu kita bisa sebut dia sebagai chord kan. Nah, itu dia, makanya disebutnya chord. Jadi chord itu ya garis gitu yang memotong ya line segment ya, line segment. Joining any two points on a circle. Jadi if you have like 2 points, for example, like If I take in here and then in here, I take 2 points, any points on the circumference. Then I take a straight line from those 2 points like this. This is what we call a chord. Ya, kita sebutnya chord. Oke, lanjut. A semicircle is half of circle. Jadi nanti akan ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan juga kalau ada kata-kata semicircle berarti setengah lingkaran. Ya. Semicircle artinya half of circle. Oke, lanjut. A diameter of a circle is any chord passing through its center. Jadi sebenarnya kalau kita ngomongin diameter, sebenarnya dia juga chord. Diameter itu adalah chord, tapi ada tapinya. Diameter itu adalah chord yang melewati titik tengah. So if I have another point, let's say I have these 2 points here and here, right? I take this. This is a chord, but it's not diameter because it doesn't pass through the center point, right? This is the center point over here, for example. But for this one here, this guy, this is a chord, right? From here to here, and it also passes through the center point. So we call that a special name for this chord is what we call diameter. Ya, kita sebutnya diameter. Jadi chord yang melewati titik tengah kita sebutnya diameter. Oke. Ya, ini basicnya dulu ya. Siapa tahu ada yang lupa. Oke, diameter. Oke, the next one is the radius. Okay, so radius is basically the distance from the center point to any point on the circle. Ya, on the circumference of the circle. Ya. Jadi dari titik tengah sampai dengan dari mana aja? Misalnya dari titik tengah kemana aja? Yang penting kena ke sisi luarnya si circle-nya itu sebutnya radius. Bisa dari sini sampai sini, bisa dari sini sampai sini, bisa dari sini sampai sini gitu kan. Nah, sampai sini ya, sampai sini. Nah, itu kita sebutnya radius ya. So in the connection of radius and diameter, right? So diameter is actually twice of the radius, yeah, in terms of the length of the length segment. Yeah. Okay, the last one, tangent. Nah, okay. Kalau ini pernah dengar nggak? Tangent. Nggak juga? New vocabularies, guys? New vocabularies ya? Oke, tangent. Itu kalau bahasa Indonesianya adalah garis singgung. Garis singgung. Oke, it's the same thing like this. If you see a car with a tire, right? And then it dia menyentuh ya, touches the asphalt atau ground gitu ya. Itu kan dia membentuk kayak begini ya, gambarnya kayak gini. Ini kayak rodanya nih jalannya gitu ya. Nah, ini kita sebutnya tangent. Garis ini ya, sebutnya tangent. Garis singgung ya. Dia menyinggung, nggak memotong ya. Jadi ada dua ya. Bisa jadi kalau dia memotong dia bukan tangent lagi. Jadi if I draw another line, guys, if I draw another line over here, for example, like this is not a tangent. Kok ada gituannya? Ini kadang-kadang suka error deh. Nah, error lagi. That is not a tangent because it passes through 2 points on the, what do you call it? On the circumference. Jadi intinya dia cuma kena ke satu titik doang. If I go back to what the tangent is, a tangent to a circle is any line which touches. Ya, kata-kata touches. Ya. Touches itu menyentuh. Menyentuh itu bukan memotong ya. Kalau motong kan sampai ya kepotong gitu kan. Kalau ini cuma nyentuh doang. Kalau nyentuh itu kalau untuk tangent ya on a circle itu cuma kenanya di satu titik doang. Ya. So if I have a line in which it only touches at the circle in one point, we call that a tangent. Okay, ini tangent. Okay, so we're going to talk about tangent a lot ya. Tapi nanti in like pertemuan ketiga atau 4 lah. Ya, kita akan ngomongin tentang tangent banyak banget. Ya. So for now, we're going to talk more about like circumference, diameter, radius, area, right? Maybe arc and chord, maybe later on. But maybe the focus now is just to know what circle is and what are the elements of that. Okay, so here are the basic things that you need to know about circle. Okay, any questions before we go to the next slide? Okay, lanjut ya. Okay, here we go. Next one. So basically, guys, we need to do it at school, but we can't. Tapi it's okay lah, no problem with that. Okay, so, aduh, saya lanjut aja deh. Okay, ini nggak usah lah, saya lanjut aja ya. Nggak usah pakai investigation nanti aja. Langsung aja to the pie. Oke, ini dia pie. Apple pie. Apple pie. Ya, the pie. Ini dia pie. Okay, so when you are in elementary school, guys, you know this value of pi, right? So question, why do we use this only in a circle? Why don't we use it in rectangle or triangle, right? Why do we not use them? Well, actually you can use it, but it's, I mean, like when we're talking about pi, means that we're going to talk about circle. Anything that is related to pi is a circle. Yeah. Okay, so when we're talking about pi, what is the value of pi? Saya mau ke Ken. Do you know the value of pi? Berapa ya?
The value of
Yeah, the value of pi. Ken.
3.14, is it?
3.14. Yes. Any other value? I mean, like any different value maybe? Luna. Tuh kan, Luna begitu. Biasanya off cam. Ya, kata Ken katanya 3.14. Do you have any other values than that?
I think it was like 22 per 7 or something.
Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, it's 22 over 7. That is when you learn that in elementary school, right? So we have 3.14 and also have 22 over 7. Okay, so the question is that actually the real value, the exact value of pi? That's the question. Okay, here we go. So what is pi actually? Pi is the ratio of the circumference of any circle to the diameter of the circle. Yeah, so this is the definition of pi. Ya, the ratio. Ingat ya, rasio itu kan cuman perbandingan gitu ya. Misalnya uang saya 1.000, uang kamu 2.000. Oh, perbandingan berarti 1.000 banding 2.000. Atau jadi 1/2. Itu kita sebut ratio. Oke. So the ratio of the circumference to the diameter of the circle. So if I can write that down, the pi, gitu ya, pi is the ratio of the circumference. Circumference itu C kan, to the diameter. Berarti gini ya, ya nggak? Pi itu adalah C berbanding D, gitu kan? The C is the circumference, D is the diameter. So basically it's that. Yeah. Regardless of the circle size, the ratio will always equals to pi. Any size of circle, the pi will always be that. That's why you have that number, I mean like value 3.14 or 22 over 7. Okay. So the real value, the exact value of pi is actually like this. But it's not done yet. We have that dot. Actually, it's going forever. Okay, let's go back to grade 7. If I have a number like this, in which we have a decimal number and it doesn't have any pattern until forever, what is the type of the number is it? I mean, like, what type of number is it? Ada yang masih ingat gak? Rico masih ingat gak? Oke. Huruf depannya I. I. Alvin kayaknya ingat ya, Alvin. Enggak. Anin?
Pak, is it irrational?
Yeah. Yes, again, it is. We call it irrational. Ya, oh, ada yang ngechat di sana. Oh ya, ada yang ngechat, maaf ya, tadi saya nggak baca chatnya. Okay, yes, thank you again. Yes, it is irrational. Yes, irrational. Okay. When we talking about in language ya, we call irrational. Irrational itu apa sih? Kalau rational itu masuk akal gitu ya. Rational, oh be rational. Masuk akal aja dong gitu kan. Tapi kalau kita bilang irrational berarti nggak masuk akal gitu ya, kayak gitu ya. So when we talking about numbers, types of number, we have rational, we have irrational, we have integers and so on, right? This is what we call one of the type of irrational number, because you see that the number has like a decimal number and it doesn't end and it doesn't have any pattern. If you have any pattern, then it's not irrational, it's rational. But this one doesn't have any pattern, right? So basically, guys, if you see these numbers here, there will be like plenty of numbers and it's going forever and without any pattern. Yeah. So when we go back to what Ken said and Luna said is 3.14 and 22 over 7, So actually, these two numbers are just the simplification. Yeah, simplification of the value of pi. It's the exact number is not that, but it's this. Yeah, this, all of these. You can see it in your calculator. Okay, silakan ambil kalkulatornya, pencet on, right? And then you can press the shift button, and then you can press below on the middle, in the middle. Itu kan yang paling bawah ada 0 titik, ya kan? Terus ada kali 10 pangkat X. Nah, pencet yang itu. Keluar pi. Pencet sama dengan, terus ubah itu jadi decimal. Pencet S panah D. Keluarnya gitu kan? 3.141592654 gitu ya. In your calculator, ya. Saya ulang ya, guys. You press the shift button, shift. And then you go to the yang bawah tuh kan ada 0, ada titik gitu kan, ada 10 pangkat X. Nah, ini kan ada tulisan di atasnya pi ya kan. Nah, kita pakai yang ini. Nanti pencet sama dengan keluarnya ini. Ya, pakai SD. So again guys, this is just the simplification. But the question is, Pak, kan ini irrational ya? Ini irrational enggak? 22/7. Enggak kan? 22/7 is not rational, it's not irrational. It's a rational number. Tapi kenapa pakainya 22/7? Okay, that's another question. Okay, now I would like you to okay, then ya bisa juga begitu ya. Nah, tapi kita nggak ngomongin sampai sejauh itu ya. Kamu kayaknya tahunya lebih banyak dari saya. Oke, ya oke. So when kenapa sih pakai 22/7? Okay, now I would like you to do the same thing like me. You divide 22 divided by 7. And then press equal sign, and then you change that into decimal. What do we get? Silakan. Ya, Valdi, berapa?
It says 3.14285714.
3.14285714. Okay. Question: if you consider this as a pi, is this the same with this?
No.
No. But question: why? When you are in elementary school, you are told to use this. That's another question. Why? Pak, guru saya berarti bohongin saya dong? Enggak, bukan. Ya. It's just again, guys, it's the simplification. As you can see that the first three number of 22/7 is the same, right? 3.14. This is also 3.14. Okay. So, although it's not the same, yeah, it's not the same, but we use that as a simplification, right, to help us to solve some simple things, ya, in circle. Ya, jadi pakai 22/7 sama 3/4,14 sebenarnya boleh-boleh aja. Ya, it depends on the question, ya. But when you are in elementary school, it's okay to use 22/7 because it's one of the closest rational number to pi, ya. Salah satu angka rasional yang mendekati the value of pi. Ya, 22/7. Ya. Okay, let's go back to the next one. Okay, so in here actually when we have a number line, yeah, it's going to be like 3.14. If I illustrate that, there you go. So if I have a circle in which the radius is 1, right, the diameter is 1, sorry, 1, and if I circle that, right, that will be 3.14. That pi over there, yeah. Ini saya illustrate sekali lagi ya. So the diameter is 1, and you have that point over there yang tadi ada berlian warna biru tuh, ya kan? Nah itu kalau kita puterin gitu kan, nah diputer lagi, balik lagi pas ke situ lagi, nah itu pas 3,14. Bukan 3,14 ya, pi ya. Ya, jadi this is one of the illustration of the pi. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this one is easy, guys. Easy. Hari ini nggak banyak ya, guys. Dikit doang. Okay, please write this down because maybe some of you forgot. Nggak masalah, tapi tolong ditulis ya. Karena kita akan banyak banget pakai rumus ini. Okay, so the first one is the perimeter of a circle in which we know that it has a special name, which is circumference. So from now on, you don't say the perimeter of a circle, ya. You say the circumference, ya. Jadi jangan sebut lagi perimeter keliling lingkaran gitu ya, bukan. Tapi kita sebutnya circumference, ya. Circumference berarti udah pasti ngomongin lingkaran, udah pasti, ya. Oke, kalau area tetap area ya. The circumference and the area of a circle. So I would like you to write this down as a whole with the pi. Yeah. So from now on, yeah, if I'm not telling you anything about the value of pi. For example, you can use 3.14 or 22/7. Please use the one in the calculator. Yeah. For example, if I, okay, example, calculate the circumference and area of a circle with a diameter of 10 centimeter correct to 2 decimal place. Okay, so most of the question will be like this because we know that the value of pi is an irrational number. We know that, right? So when you want to, I mean, like if the question needs you to answer the question in a decimal number, right? Most of the time, it will tell you how many decimal number you should take. Yeah, because you will have like plenty of numbers behind the decimal point. Yeah. Okay, so in here, we know that given in the question, we have the D is equals to 10, right? Diameter equals to 10 centimeter. And then we have the R, right? So because we know that the R or the radius is half of the diameter. Ya kan? Jari-jari itu kan setengahnya diameter ya enggak? Setengahnya ya. If the diameter is 10, then the radius is 5. Tinggal dibagi 2 doang. Ya kan? Diameter 10 loh, berarti jari-jarinya 7. And then we can use that formula, right? That C equals to 2 pi R, right? And then just plug all of the numbers. Because we know that we only need the value of R. Just plug that R into that, the 5 into the R. And you will get 2 pi multiplied by 5. And then that will be 10 pi. Okay, so when you calculate this, right? When you calculate this, right? If there's no instruction to use 22/7 or 3.14, please use the calculator. Yeah, please use the calculator. If you put the, maybe I'm gonna use my calculator here. Wait, I'm gonna pause my sharing first. Ya guys. Mana ya? TI. Okay, I'm gonna use my calculator here. Wait. Sebentar. Loading dulu ya. Otomatis selesai. Okay, go. Okay, there we go. I have my calculator here. And I'm gonna write down 10 pi. 10 pi. 10 pi. Pi. Okay, I'm gonna press enter, right? So if you want to know the decimal number for my calculator, I'm gonna change this into decimal place. So I'm gonna go to menu, gonna go number, convert to decimal, and we have salah. Sorry guys. Menu, number, convert to decimal, and here we go. Okay, so for this calculator, I have set this to 4 decimal place. Yeah, cuma 4. Yeah, instead of like using, if you use 3.14, you will get just 31.4, right? But if you use the real value of pi, you should have that 31.4159 and so on, so on, so on. So again, if you use the calculator on your calculator, this calculator, right? So you press 10 pi, 10, and then shift, and then pi equals to, and then press SD, you will get 31.41592654, and so on, so on, so on. And since it tells you to have the final answer correct to 2 decimal place, so you take only 2 decimal number. Okay, so I'm going to use my highlighter here. 2 decimal number, which is these, right? But be very careful when you take 2 decimal place in here, you need to round them up. Okay, so you need to see the next value or the next number after those 2 decimal point, decimal number. Okay, so you see that the next number is 5, right? So if you have 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you will add that. You consider that to be a whole number, and you add the previous number with 1. So that's why you have 31.42. Ya, 1 tambah 1 jadi 2, belakangnya 2 in centimeter. Ya. Okay, so it's easy as that, guys. So you just put that in your calculator and you get this. Okay, next question is the area, right? So we know that the area, we have that formula again, guys. You don't need to think anything else because we have the formula. We have pi r squared, and then we know that the r is 5. So you get pi and then multiply that 5 squared. Okay, be very careful, guys. The one that being squared is only the 5, yeah? Yang di square itu cuma 5-nya doang, pi-nya enggak ya. Jadi 5 square is 25. So that will be 25 pi. Again, you use the calculator to calculate this, right? Instead of like multiplying this by 3.14, you will get only like 2 decimal number, right? But you don't know the next number. Then it will be very important if, for example, you need to correct to 2 decimal place or 3 decimal place to use the calculator. If you put that into the calculator, okay, everyone, I will need you to try it on your calculator. Please press 25 pi and then press equal sign and then change that to decimal. Okay, I need to know whether you have the same result as I do. Dicobain ya guys, harus dicoba. Ya, Zio udah dapat ya. Benar ya? Okay, ya. So again guys, you can use the calculator and it must use the calculator, because if you have if you need to calculate that manually, you will take a lot of time. Yeah. Okay, since I just noticed some of you have the same result as I do. And since again guys, you need to answer this in correct to 2 decimal place based on the instruction for this question. So you need to take the first answer, the original answer, right? Wait, sebentar. Okay. So you need to take 2 decimal place, right? 2 numbers after the decimal place, but you need to consider the number after that. Okay. Since the number after the 2 decimal place is higher than 5 or higher than that, it can be 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, which is this one here. So which means that you need to add 1 to the previous number. So that 3 will become 4. Right? So the area is equal to 78.54 centimeter square. Oke, ini masih gampang ya, masih gampang banget karena kita baru membicarakan tentang basicnya dulu. Hari ini kita basicnya dulu aja ya. Nanti next sessionnya baru kita ngomongin tentang a little bit deeper about circle. Oke, oke. Any questions? Gak ada lah, masih gampang. Okay, I'm gonna give you one question, not one, maybe a couple, but you don't need to write it down in your. I'm gonna use my. Okay. So suppose I have a circle here. I would like you to calculate the area and perimeter using the calculator, yeah, using the calculator, and then I would like you to answer that. Please type it, tulis di chat box ya, nanti private ke saya biar saya pastiin itu benar atau salah. Oke. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a circle, and then I would like you to find the circumference. Yeah, the circumference and the area of that circle. So I'm gonna draw a point in here, and I'm going to draw over here. Sorry guys, not up here. And that will be 20 centimeter. Okay. Perimeter. Perimeter, the circumference. What is the circumference and the area? Okay, I'm gonna write down the formula for you guys. That will be 2 pi r, and that will be pi r squared. Okay, please use the calculator, right, to find the C and the A, and then please type that on the chat box so that I know that you try that on your calculator, so that yang nggak bawa kalkulator ya pakai kalkulator ini aja ya. Oh ya, saya mintanya 3 decimal place ya. Saya mintanya 3 decimal place. Kalau tadi 2 ya, saya mintanya 3 sekarang. Oke. Silakan dicoba. Karena kalkulatornya akan sering dipakai ya. Cekeman. Cekeman itu selesai. Oke. Langsung diketik aja di chat box. Private aja ke saya biar saya bisa pastiin. Ingat guys, kamu jawab begini, ini ada plus poinnya. Walaupun saya tidak tulis namanya di sini, tapi saya ada catatannya. Oke, that will be 3 times 5 times r. Okay. Good. Oke, udah ada satu orang yang jawab nih. Nah, oke. Oke, Valdi, yes, that's the circumference. Ya betul. Zio juga good. Oke, good. Kemal, yes. Ya, ditulis ya. Ketik aja langsung di chat box. Yes, betul. Luna. But Luna, please use point ya, instead of comma ya, because we are using the metric system. Oke. Oke, itu circumference-nya. Cari areanya juga. Nah, silakan. Tadi udah Valdi, Zio, Kemal, dan Luna. You can find also the area. It's not going to be a bit different. It's not going to be a lot of difference because yes, yes, Valdi, correct. And then Reza, yes, correct. But don't forget, guys, for those of you who have answered question, please write down the units ya. Tadi yang kasih unit cuma Luna doang, yang lainnya belum kasih unit ya. Because unit will be very important. It can be centimeters, meter, because sometimes in measurements, in like one figure, sometimes you see different unit. For example, the width is in meter and the other one is in decimeter, for example, right? So you need to write down the, what they call it, the unit also. Okay, can that's the, wait. Can I think that is for the area? Can. I think that's yeah, that's the area. Yes, Luna, yes, that is area. And then for the area, you actually need to write the A with a capital A instead of a lowercase a, ya. Oke, thank you Luna. Tristan belum? Oke. CO. Loh, oke beda. Oke. Waduh, bentar. ZO kayaknya salah ngitung for the area ya. Tadi circumference-nya udah benar. Remember guys that the one that being squared in here guys for the area is only the r, yeah. So because we know that the r is 20, so that will be pi and then bracket 20 squared, right? So you substitute the r by 20. Remember in algebra guys, when we substitute values to a variable, you need to put like a bracket on it in like to make the calculation. I mean like to make it systematic, because sometimes if we don't put the bracket, sometimes you will make a mistake like, oh, this is the pi will be also being squared, yeah. So be careful with that. Okay, Tristan kurang, masih belum tepat. Oke, siapa nih? Zaidan.
Bapak, aku nggak tahu cara kalkulator di aku, Pak. Kalau spesifik yang point zero berapa gitu-gitu, aku cuma bisa sampai 1 digit doang, Pak. Iya. Like calculate, aku nggak bisa. I don't know why.
Oke. Berarti harus diinin ini ya. Ada tutorial nih pakai kalkulator. Oke. Ken. Kendra, yes. Ya, betul ya. Segitu betul. Oke. Don't forget the area is in centimeter square ya, Ken ya. Thank you. Atar, that yes, the circumference, that's ya betul. And Zio itu areanya ya, Zio. Yes. Yes, it is in centimeter square. Ya, good. Oke, Diwa. Oke, good. Nah, ya betul kan. Betul sekali. Ya, pakai square ya, centimeter square for the area because it's a square. Oke. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more question. Yang lain boleh dicoba ya. So I'm gonna give you another question. This one ya last question aja ya, nggak usah lama-lama. It's okay, no problem. I'm gonna give you one more. This time, I will ask you not for the circumference, but I'm going to ask you for the radius and the diameter or the area. Okay, so I'm gonna draw another circle. Okay, here we go. Okay. Ya, nggak kayak circle ini mah. Nggak apa-apa lah, anggap aja ini circle ya. Okay, so I know that this is the radius. Which is I'm not gonna name that with R. I'm gonna name that with X. Okay. If the circumference of this circle is 100, what is the value of x? Okay. Okay, first thing first, right? You need to know what x is. What is x? Instead of the value first, right? We know that that is the radius, right? The radius of that circle. So by using this formula, right, you can just substitute the numbers that you get in from the from the what do you call it, from the information that is given from the question, right? And the same thing, I'm gonna need you to write it down in 2 decimal places, ya. 2 decimal place, 2 aja.
Pak Rahman, share screen-nya nge-freeze. Jadi we have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, sorry. Lupa. Thank you, Paldi. Yes. maaf. Okay. So here we go. Aduh, terima kasih, Paldi. Maaf, saya tadi lupa. Yeah. Okay, so we have a circle and we have that x. Yeah. You see the x is there. One, right? And then the one that we know from the question that the circumference is 100. The circumference is 100 centimeter. Yeah. Okay, the question is, what is the value of x? What is this? What's the value of that? Okay, so because we know that we have this formula as the circumference, right? So which means that we can just plug in those numbers, right? And then find the value of x. Okay, another hint for you guys that we know that every time you solve any kind of question like this, please write down the formulas and then write down the information that is given from the question, like below exactly below the equation, right? So we know that the c is 100, so we write down 100 over here, and then the 2 doesn't change, and then the pi doesn't change, but the r will change into x. Okay, so please solve this because it's quite easy. You just like move that to the other side and you will get the value of x. And please, I would like you to write this down, I mean like the final answer in 2 decimal place. Okay. Two decimal place ya. Silakan. Tristan masih jawab yang mana nih? Tristan, kamu jawab yang sekarang apa yang sebelumnya?
Enggak, yang itu yang sekarang, yang tadi itu.
Oh iya. Oke. Belum tepat. Belum. Ini siapa? Ya, Zaidan, hampir dikit lagi. 2 decimal place berarti the third number, ya kan? Di round up ke depannya. Jadi berapa? Zaidan tuh hampir banget. Cuma angka yang paling belakang doang tuh kurang tepat. Nah, Reza, betul sekali. Yes. Betul sekali, Reza. Yes. Lanjut, guys. Ya, oke. Oh ya, oke again. Thank you. Yes, again. No problem. Oke, silakan yang lain, guys. Nah, ini algebra sederhana kan? Tinggal pindahin aja itu tupainya kan? Tupai. Binatang dong, tupai. 2 pi, ya, to the left side, and you will get that divided by that equals to x, and you get that just by if it's not in a decimal place, in decimal number, you can just like press the SD and you will get the numbers. Okay, Atar masih kurang tepat, Kemal juga masih kurang tepat. Oke, mana lagi nih? Yang tadi yang udah benar itu adalah Zaidan, hampir benar. Cuman angka terakhirnya doang kurang tepat. Reza udah benar, bagus. Terus Atar belum benar itu karena it's a very big one. Oke. Zaidan enggak, itu yang belakangnya kan kamu Zaidan itu belakangnya kan kamu ada 2 angka tuh, belakangnya desimal ya kan? Ada 2 angka. Nah, 2 angka itu setelah angka itu kan ada angka lagi di belakangnya kan. Nah, lihat itu angkanya berapa. Kalau dia 5, 6, 7, 8, atau 9, berarti dia nambahin 1 ke depannya. Ya. Masih ada decimal place-nya ya, 2 ya. Oke, ZO, yes, betul. Paldi, betul banget, yes. Lanjut, silakan guys. Yuk dicobain ya kalkulatornya, oke. So because you don't need to do it manually, you only need to put all of the numbers into the calculator and you will get the value. Anin, yes. Tuh. Lanjut yang lain. Yes. Oke, saya tunggu like 1 more minute ya. I'm gonna show the answer ya. Ini ada nilai tersendiri loh guys. Gimana nih yang lain? Ayo. Biru, Rico, Adrian mungkin. Oke, Zaidan. Iya betul, tapi itu 3 decimal place, Zaidan. Kamu tuh hampir bener ya, maksudnya hampir banget gitu lagi. Karena dia mintanya 2 decimal place ya. 2 decimal place berarti cuma ada 2 angka nanti di belakang decimal. Itu kan kamu ada 3 ya. Nah yang angka ketiganya kamu buletin ke depannya. Gitu. Bedanya. Oke, Kemal, very good. Yes, benar. Oke. Oke, bukan C ya, Diwa. Kita nyari X-nya, bukan C-nya. C-nya 100. Diwa gimana nih? Pakai titik ya. Ya, oke, Diwa. Ya, hati-hati ya. Karena yang ditanya bukan C-nya tapi X-nya. Oke. Oke, I'm gonna show you. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna show you and how to solve this. So basically you are just doing simple algebra, right? So you only need to, because we are looking for the value of X. So that must be alone on that side. So we can just like this, move it here, right? So which means that, oh, that is a multiplication. So it will be division. Hati-hati ya, division. Oke. Tristan masih kurang tepat. Rico hampir dikit lagi. Ken udah benar. Oke. So I'm gonna move that 2 pi to the left side, right? So that will be a division, right? Like this. Ya enggak? Ini tinggal masukin aja ke kalkulator, ya enggak sih? Right? 10 divided by 2 pi. If I put that in a calculator, you will get 15.9154941. Right? Since I'm asking you to write the final answer in 2 decimal place, so you only need to see 2 decimal place in here, but error. But Oke, 2 decimal place ya. Nih, ini kan ada 2 angka di belakang desimalnya kan? Ada 1. Tapi guys, you also need to consider the next number after that 2. Ya, setelah 2 angka itu, angka ketiganya berapa nih angka ketiganya? Ya kan? Angka ketiganya kan itu 5 atau pokoknya kalau angka setelahnya itu dia antara 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 berarti it means that you need to add the previous number with 1. So you add this by 1, you will get 15.92 centimeter. That will be equals to X. Gitu ya. Oke, ini Tristan kayaknya perlu bantuan nih untuk memakai kalkulatornya ya. Oke, nanti saya kasih lah. Oke guys. Nah, oke, satu lagi
nggak tahu loh Pak, kalkulator cara untuk ngekoma-komain loh Pak. I don't know how.
Iya, tapi itu kamu kan sebenarnya tinggal 10 bagi 2 pi aja. Masa nggak bisa?
I know, nggak bisa.
100 bagi 2 pi nggak bisa.
I don't know how.
Ya udahlah, oke. Lanjut, terakhir. Satu lagi, one more. The last one for today ya. One more. Oke, sama ya kayak tadi ya. I'm gonna draw another. Okay, this one. And then I'm going to draw a center point here, but this time I'm going to draw this. Aha, go from this edge to this edge. I'm going to name that with Y, yeah? From here to here is Y. Okay, if the area of the circle is 300 meter square, what is the value of Y? Saya mintanya in 1 decimal place. Ya, saya mintanya 1 decimal place. 1 angka di belakang desimal. Silakan. Okay, I'm gonna write down the formula for the area, which is A equals to pi r square. Okay, this one is a little bit challenging. because the one that being asked is the y. Question, is the radius or what? Oke, silakan. Oke, final question for today ya. Final question for today. Silakan. Oke. Ini agak panjang nih ngerjainnya. Gimana ya? Okay, it needs to be written in a systematical order, ya. Okay, I'm gonna help you with this one, but still you need to use the calculator, yeah. Okay, since we know that 300 is the area, right? And the area is the A, so you put the 300 over here, right? And it will be pi r squared. So the first thing you do is to find the value of r, right? By just moving the pi, and then the square needs to be moved to the other side of the equal sign. You get something. And then identify what y is and connect that to the value of r. Okay, so that's the hint. Oke, saya minta minimal 3 orang yang bisa jawab ini baru kita selesai. Harus ada yang bisa jawab. Perwakilan minimal. Oke. Oke, saya kasih hint ya tadi yang pertama. Find the value of r. That will be the radius, right? By using that equation. And then connect that with the y. What is y? Is it the radius? If it's not the radius, what is it? And what is the connection between the length of y with the radius? Oke. Kemal masih kurang tepat. Silakan dicoba lagi. Zaidan kurang tepat juga. Hampir itu baru R-nya ya. Iya. Zaidan itu baru R-nya, benar. Tadi siapa tuh? Ken ya, iya benar nih dia. Betul, 1 orang dapat Ken. Oke, lanjut. Iya, asik. Lanjut. Ayo guys, come on. Use the calculator guys. Zaidan hampir. Zaidan itu kamu lihat ya. Setelah angka pertama desimal, angka selanjutnya berapa? Kalau dia kurang dari 5, ya udah hilangin aja gitu. Nggak usah nambahin yang depannya. Zaidan. Itu hampir banget. Cuma angka terakhir doang yang salah, Zaidan. Yes, Valdi. Tar dulu. 1 decimal place loh, saya mintanya loh. 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place, bukan 2. Anin kebanyakan. Kebanyak banget. Jadi segitu. Harusnya lebih kecil ya. Terus gitu. That is just the radius ya. But we're talking about the y. What's the connection with the y with the radius? Yeah, you get that as the y, the radius, and then connect that with the y. What is y? Yes, Valdi betul. Satu lagi ya, saya tunggu 1 orang lagi. Valdi, yes, udah benar. Oke, ya 1 lagi ya man. 1 lagi. Yes, algebra ini. Kalau ngerti algebra ya piece of cake lah. Ya. Latihan algebranya ya. Oke, Luna, hampir Luna. Itu remember that because we're talking because we only take 1 decimal place, which means that the second number of the decimal place, if it is more than 5, right, or 5 or more, then you round it up to the front. But if it is less than 5, like 4, 3, 2, 1, then you just erase that. Gitu. And yes, benar. Yes, okay. Thank you guys for answering the question. Okay, so this is how you do it, okay? Buat yang lain yang masih belum dapat, okay, this is how you do it. Because we know that in algebra, guys, so we're looking for the value of r, right? So which means that we need to make the r alone in one side. So this guy needs to be alone, right? So the pi and the square, you need to move that to the other side. So the one that we're going to move first is the pi. So that would be 300 over pi equals to r squared, right? So that's the first one. The second one, we need to get rid of this square. What should we do? We need to square root them, right? Nah, ini dia guys. Ini baru R-nya ya. Nah, saya belum tulis dalam bentuk, I'm not gonna write it down in the decimal number. Since we know that the y is actually 2 times the r. That is the diameter, right? That is the diameter. The y is the diameter. The diameter is 2 times r, right? And we know that the r is this guy, right? So the y will be equals to 2 multiplied by the square root of 300 over pi. And then if you put that into the calculator, we'll get 19.544100048. And since I'm asking you to have one decimal place, so you only need to take one number behind the decimal place, but also consider the next number. If the next number is less than 5, so you get rid of that. This just doesn't, I mean, like you can assume that they're not exist, right? Although they are exist. But if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then you must add the previous number with 1. So since the next number is 4, right? So that would be just 19.5 centimeter. Gitu. Ya, oke, yang belum dapat tolong ditulis ya guys, karena ya soal-soalnya kan kayak begini gitu ya. Oke, ditulis dulu, ditulis. Oke, please write this down. Thank you. Oke, yep ya. Okay, any question guys? Iya, Diwa dan Kemal. Tar gimana Tar? Atar, halo Atar. Iya.
Berarti lupa saya.
Iya nggak apa-apa. Ntar kita belajar lagi ya. Kamu jangan jangan stres gara-gara MU kalah mulu ya. Jangan. Saya juga fans MU loh. Saya juga pusing nontonnya. Aduh, kita sesama ya kan sebenarnya. Saya tuh ngefans MU udah dari dulu ya. Tapi aduh, saya pusing nontonnya. Mau nonton takut kalah gitu kan. Nggak nonton penasaran. Aduh, ya sudahlah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop my share screen today. Stop share. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, so that's all for today. Actually, we're just talking about the basics of circle that actually you have learned that in elementary school, but a couple of questions that needs to be done using algebra, and of course using the calculator. So I would like you to use the calculator more, guys, because calculator skill will be like very useful for you guys. Because, well, I hope that you can use that later on. I mean, like, I don't know if the Diknas are going to allow you to use it, but as long as you're studying mathematics with me, you are. I mean, you're going to use this a lot. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for today. Any question, guys? Maybe suggestion? Cukup? Okay. So thank you very much for today. I'll be seeing you again tomorrow morning. Annyeonghaseyo. Sayonara. Jamatane. Dadah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pak.
Makasih, Pak. Oke, makasih, Pak. Bye.
Sama-sama.